Hello, my name is Jordan. I just want to thank you for tuning in as we are going to walk through the book of Philippians as kind of a first step in your journey with Christ as a new believer. I just want to give you some context, some information, so as you either have already read chapter 1 or you're about to read chapter 1, the author's name is Paul. He was a man who was not a Christian before, and he was doing some crazy things, persecuting people who loved Jesus and who wanted to know about him. And instead, Christ met him on a road to Damascus, and he had his whole life transformed by Christ. And so he's actually the author of the book of Philippians, and he's writing to a church in a place called Philippi, which is where we get the book Philippians from. And so he is actually in a Roman prison at the time as he's writing to these people. Now, one of the first things I want you to see as you begin to read this chapter is this sense of community, this sense of belonging. It's amazing how much Paul cares about these people in Philippi, and it just kind of exudes out of him, his heart for these people. And an amazing thing when you come to know Christ is you join with people who have also made that decision a long time before you, even till today. As a church, as a people, we're a family together, united in Christ. And as you read this, I want you to see in the first chapter that there is this great sense of community and a sense of belonging. We can actually read about the account of the beginning of this church in Philippi in Acts chapter 16. It's a book found earlier in the New Testament. And it's amazing. You know, it starts with a rich woman named Lydia, then a slave girl that Paul sets free from demonic forces, and then it's also pretty much just like a blue-collar worker, a guy working in a prison as a jailer. And what I want to communicate to you as you start your journey with Christ is when it comes to Jesus, when it comes to being in His kingdom, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your race or your background, your ethnicity. He brings all people together underneath the banner of Christ. And that's what we see here as Paul is writing this letter to the church in Philippi. One of my favorite verses of all time is found in the first chapter of Philippians. That's where Paul says, you know, for me to live is Christ and to die is gain. What an incredible statement. He's saying, listen, for me to live is Christ and to die is gain, which means if I'm alive, then I get Christ. I get to be Christ to people. I get to experience Him. But if I die, I get to be with Him eternally in heaven. And it was kind of torn between the two. And as we're here alive on earth, you know, I really want you to look at that as a new believer. You're going to be on a journey towards knowing Jesus more. Maybe right now, for you to live is not Christ, and for sure to die is not gain. You would say maybe for me to live is money, and to die is to lose it all. Or for me to live is popularity or being known, and to die is to not be known at all or maybe be forgotten. Your prayer should be, as you read this first chapter, for you to be aware that God wants you to have a relationship with Him where He's all you need, where He would be your greatest possession. Just knowing Him and being with Him will be something that is worth more to you than anything else. So I want to encourage you again, as you read chapter 1 or as you go back and read it, look at what Paul's saying as he cares about the people found in the church of Philippi. He cares about them and they care about him as he's in prison in Rome. And that's the same today. As Christians, we have brothers and sisters in Christ that we can come together with and not do life alone, but do it as a family. And that family has nothing to do with our race, our background, our ethnicity, except it's the common denominator. We know Jesus. And in that, knowing Jesus, we're on a journey to where we can maybe one day say, to live is Christ and to die is gain. That Christ would be our most valuable possession, just knowing Him. May God bless you as you read chapter 1 of the book of Philippians.